I started making New Year's resolutions probably not that long ago. Probably only since I started kind of meditation path, and I started becoming a little bit more, I guess, focused about my intentions of stuff I wanted to do or stuff I wanted to achieve or learn or conquer in myself or something like that. I started actually writing it as a list, really, like a to-do list in at the end of the year, usually New Year's Eve or somewhere in the lead up to that. And or in the days, kind of just those immediate days around the start of the year of like, what do I really want to do? Is there somewhere I want to go or whatever it is? And I did it differently last year. So I did it differently last year, and I totally forgot. Because you know you write these things, and you stick it in an envelope, and you just put it somewhere, and then I didn't even think about it for the whole year. Last year I wrote it as a gratitude list, right? I completely forgot that I wrote it that way, and I read it this morning. It just kind of dawned on me, oh yeah, Emer, you need to read that, burn it, do the new one. And I was reading it this morning, and I was glad I was sitting down, because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. That about 3/4 of what I wrote that I was grateful for in 2017 actually happened. My jaw dropped when I read what I wrote today. The first line was, thank you 2017 for being the best year ever. And I was like, okay. And I'd only said those words, not that long ago. Kind of, 2017 was really good to me. There was really difficult aspects. First half of the year was quite difficult and challenging and emotional. But in the second half of the year, loads of really, really good things happened for me in the latter half of the year. And as I continued on, there was so much and like really specific of things that I had said, thank you for this, like thank you for my new car, thank you for my new house, thank you for everything. I had no intention of moving house this time last year, no intention whatsoever. And everything that I wrote, about 3/4 of it, is exactly what happened. So I was sitting with this sheets of paper. I wrote extensively. It wasn't just one page. And I was sitting with these pages, and I was thinking about me having no idea that the power that gratitude had as a magnet for good things to happen. It was like I just did it. Yeah, thank you for this. Thank you for the trips to India. Thank you for the lovely new house. Thank you for my car. And I was really specific about the house. Really spacious house, really bright, lovely garden, lovely location. All happened. And, loads more things. There was a few things that were really specific. Like I hadn't decided what kind of car I wanted. And in my gratitude list, I had specifically written, thank you for my new Audi, blah, 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 blah. And it arrived today, yeah. And but I technically bought it last year, yeah. So there was things like this, and I hadn't even decided what I wanted, yeah. And then they showed up, and it got me really thinking about. And I would say this to people frequently, but I don't always practice it myself consistently. That practice of just being really grateful for everything and anything. For who we are, or how we are, or what we have, or where we are, all of those things. Because it can be so easy to get consumed with the things that we're trying to fix in ourselves, or the things that seem wrong, or seem broken, or the things that are hurting. It's really, really easy for our focus to stay with those. Because we're looking at them in a way of, I'd like to heal that, I want to learn more about this, I want to improve this. Sure, we're looking at them in really positive ways, but overwhelmingly, we're looking an awful lot at our problems. We're looking an awful lot at our difficulties. And for me, gratitude gives a balance to that. Gratitude is what really reminds me of the good things that I've done, or the good things that I've achieved, or the nice things that I have, or the good people that I have around me, or even just having nice food, or nice clothes, or whatever it is. Things that in the past I would have kind of just automatically had, or even felt guilty for. Yeah? Like I caught myself in the car today, in my old car, driving to get the new car. And I caught myself feeling a little bit guilty. I was like, Jesus, Emer, you've spent a fortune in this car. And I caught myself feeling a little bit guilty for spending so much money on having a really nice car. And I was like, no, hang on a second now. I don't do this anymore. But I caught it. It was like a sneeze of guilt about the car, yeah? And then I reminded myself, no, that's not how we do this. You have wanted this, and you have worked towards it, and now you have it, enjoy it. And I know I will, but it caught me by surprise that was that little guilt feeling for having something nice. And it reminded me of an old me that would feel guilty of having nice things. It would feel guilty of, let's say if I spent, not even a huge amount of money, but if I spent a good amount of money, let's say, on clothes, or a restaurant, or something like that, I'd feel a little bit guilty. Ordinary level spending, fine, but a little bit special. And it wasn't anything to do with affording it or not affording it. It was about letting myself have it. So there was something about that particular gratitude list that somehow opened a space that allowed me to have nice things and not feel guilty about it. That allowed me to enjoy life in a much more abundant and fulfilling way and not feel guilty for it. I can't even tell you where the guilt feeling comes from. I really don't. I've heard Dennis speak about it, and he calls it things like, a poverty mentality. That we get stuck in this trap that we don't let ourselves have nice things. Or we can feel guilty for success. Like if we have a good job, earning good money, we can feel a little bit guilty, or we can feel even a little bit kind of fraudulent sometimes.
Imposter syndrome.
Kind of, yeah. If anybody knew how I felt inside, they wouldn't have given me that job. Yeah. Or when you get something and you feel like, oh shit, have I oversold myself there, or whatever it is. And suddenly we're in this little space that feels a little bit like guilt, or a little bit fraudulent, or a little bit like that imposter thing.